and welcome to another exciting edition of your program, our program. I'm sure you guys, you didn't want us to leave the last time out, but we're back like we never left. It is Let's Talk Naija on SEETV. We talk about topical news, happenings in the world, in Nigeria, as we've already mentioned, from the name, from the title. Of course, I'm not doing the show alone. I've got my partner in keeping you all responsible. Okay, I'm not going to say in crime. All right, I'm going to do my best not to say in crime, but I already did. I've got with me Ibrahim Ayajbioja, a.k.a.
Easy Baba.
He has no AKAs.
Number one. I'm not that for short. I have AKs. Come on. Hello, people. How are you doing? Good morning. We are here to talk about Nigeria, and
we are here.
I hope to God we don't have our hearts broken
again for the update time. We'll be having heartbreak for weeks on end, and we promised ourselves to try to come out with good, exciting news. But I think it's few and far in between, unfortunately.
Yeah, so. It's few and far in between. Mostly it's always about we're having one problems here or one issue about infrastructure, health, all sorts of problems.
One problem,
one problem after the other.
All right, before we get into the problems, we would like for us not to talk about problems, but it is what it is. Yeah, we cannot avoid it. We need to talk about it. So, in Nigeria better, you get the gist. Okay. So, here's Baba. What's up with you? How have you been from last week to now? What's happening with you?
I've been good. I've been adjusting to the what's it called, to the change in rates. When I talk about rates, I'm talking about transportation rates. The fact that buses all of a sudden have decided to dry up. Yeah, I'm barely seeing them. I can't say all of a sudden because we know what's up, but to an extent, to most people, it's all of a sudden because regularly at the bus stop I would say like 50 downfalls or.
Begging you to comment.
Now, if you see 5, you are lucky, and those 5. The amount of pride they have before you enter their buses, they let me know. On the nose, if it is 150 naira, you used to carry that place. If you tell you it's 250, if you want to like, 250 is too much, they are gone. Or like before, like, well, okay, no 200.
No, you get it.
Bring 200
and get it.
This time around, the look they will give you yourself, you think about your life, like, why did I say anything?
And actually, like, I think you said it all this morning. It's all week. I mean, we had the news like last week Monday where we heard that Danfo buses were going on a strike for a week, a 7-day strike. But this is another week, and we've not heard an update, as it were, on the strike and what's happening. But one thing that we have seen is that there are fewer vehicles on the road, and the ones that are actually on the road, you're paying more. You're paying through your nose. And I could hear on my way to the office this morning, I could hear the driver saying something like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, he cannot help it. Like, he would prefer if he doesn't have to increase his fare as it is. That, but he said he bought a liter for 210 naira. And so it's like, if you're going to pay for it, you're going to pay for it. So there were people at the bus stop. I was running out of time, so I didn't have a choice, just getting and all. But typically, like you said, the routes that say you pay 100 naira, you pay 150 or pay 200 naira for. This time around, if they tell you that it is 300 naira, if you enter or not, they are moving. They are going like, and it's so.
Someone else to pick up.
And it's crazy. It's very upsetting.
It's way too much. It's affecting our time, everybody's timing. Regularly, if you say you wake up by 6, you get to the bus stop by doing all the needful at the house. You get the bus by 7. You know that's 7 before you even get to the bus stop. You have seen a few buses to pick you up. But if you are like the standard buses, the standard bus stop, that's where you go from work. You definitely see that instead of meeting buses, you're going to be meeting queues of people.
You meet people,
and that is as frustrating as I can't even start to think about it now. We are very, very close to December. December is literally here, and we know how much influx of people
to and out of the state, yeah.
How sure are we that is going to ever happen right now with all these incessant increments in everything?
Cost of living,
everything. The only thing I said it before, we've talked about it, the only thing that's still free is hair.
And hopefully we don't have to start paying for that.
Just in case you don't know, pure water is now 3 for 50 naira.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Pure water is now 3 for 50 naira. If you want to buy a bag of pure water, if you don't have 220 naira, 250 naira, bye-bye.
She didn't want me.
For water.
What do I sound? Why am I surprised though? Well, I haven't gotten pure water in a while, but that's crazy. And it makes you wonder, like, what does the average man have to do to survive. Like if water is this expensive, doctors advise that you take at least 2 to 3 liters, 2 liters for women and 3 liters for men per day. If you're going to do that, you're going to get a couple of sachets. And if water safe, they do like this, how do we make it work? How do we go through life without being frustrated, without getting tired?
Well, we listen to music, we watch movies,
we watch football,
we watch. We see.
But unfortunately, it is temporary. Why? Because okay, so for me now, you go back to factory setting. For me now, while I'm watching football, that's my drug of choice. You get when I'm watching football and okay, usually of course that's what I'm eating while I'm watching the game. I forget about food. But after the game, I go chop now.
Therefore.
And there you are, like the calculation, the maths is not mathing. Yeah, the mathematics is just even with your calculator, it's just not working.
Yeah.
The X is not equals to Y, and it's just not working. Yeah. If you use all the things that you enjoy, if you're reading a book, if you're exercising, if you're chilling with friends, when you leave that environment, you have to go back to your reality.
And that's the
if the reality is not the one that you want, the reality is looking like a nightmare. How do you leave that?
I honestly hope that what's it called? Would I say a miracle? Because I don't know what the amount of depression has increased. Yeah, I don't want anything to hear about suicide rates. I don't, because it is not. It is not fine. It is not. We wanted to start this show on a very light note. I can assure you guys of it. We wanted to start this show on a very light note.
The light is not lighting. Unfortunately. Yeah.
So okay, let's just try and pick this news. At least this one should help us a bit. Even though it is still about people leaving the country to move for what greener pastures, whereas the country is not making us smile. So in case you missed it, there was a story about let me read it for you. There is this one of my colleague that's always serving looks. Salary enter or you know enter, she's always dressing very fine. But since last week Tuesday, she has been roughing to work and it's not like her. I went to meet her on Wednesday to ask her how far, what's wrong, what's going wrong with you. She said she didn't know someone is noticing her and she collected his number. And she said she was going to tell him on the phone. So the next day he didn't see her till weekend and didn't receive any call. Today in hold up. Let me go back. Today in hold up. My guy was in traffic too. That was just part of it. Foreign number called me. She have japa. She said she had already packed up all her clothes, all her fine clothes and makeup. That was why she was dressing like everybody else in the office. So she didn't tell him she was going. She didn't tell anybody she was going. She was acting all clean, all smooth, all good, up until the final week. Whereas, okay, she pretty sure you know about the process now. You get a visa. They give you I think a month's notice before you travel, and she kept dressing fine, looking all good and sexy. When it got to a week before she traveled out, let me go and pack up my fine stores. Packed it.
No, you need to start packing early so you don't forget.
Packed everything and everything was all set. So she started dressing regularly, looking all rough, as I said, regularly rough. And when he actually asked her, she said,
I'll just you.
I will
talk to you later, my guy.
So when she now called him while he was in traffic, in Nigeria's traffic, I'm imagining myself as that guy. Because, okay, let me use this. I'm seeing Lady on a daily. And we go to work on a daily. She dresses very fine to work and everything. So right now, after I see Lady on a regular, and Lady gets, I've been seeing Lady on a regular. She's one of the best dressers in the company.
You're always giving us back to back.
Back to back. Then come Monday, I'm seeing Lady dressed like what's wrong with Lady?
It's gonna happen.
Leave her. Probably she and her boyfriend had an issue. Leave her. Tuesday, same thing. Wednesday, as a very concerned guy, went to go and ask her, Lady, she said, oh, you're concerned, don't worry, I'll tell you about it. Lady now went. And on next weekend on Monday, when I was going to work, after I didn't see that for the remainder of the week, I was going to work. She called me while I was in traffic, probably cursing out the conductor or the driver or every other person. I'm like, oh, who is this? Is this my uncle in the UK calling me? Or is this my auntie in the UK calling me? Hello, this is Lady. Lady? Yeah, in your office, Lady. Hello, Lady, what's up? Well, I'm in Canada.
You sure you're going to start writing screenplay? Yeah, I'm just saying. But look at the way what else took us on that story. But I can really imagine, though.
Yeah, I'm in Canada now. as a guy, I feel verse throwing my phone out of the
Throw
window.
him.
No, I'm just
You
thinking.
go buy
'Cause
another one.
now this is the person we have been together, and she now said the reason she was coming to work like that, dressed like that, was because she was trying to look like us. So we are number one. We are regular people. Number two, the state at which people are moving out of this country is too much. And the fact that you not know anything until the person is gone. And that's if the person likes you.
Village people is real. It's what it is. But no, apart from village people and all that,
Yeah.
I think we're different people, and we work and plan different things like differently.
Yeah.
For some people, I won't call them the loud one. Not loud in the sense that when they are, you tend to know what's going on.
With them.
When they are working on this and working on that. When it doesn't work out, like, okay, it didn't work out, you know.
Yeah.
For some people, like me, I fall under that category. If I'm working on something, if it's yet to materialize,
Keep mum.
it's still under wraps.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm ready to share is when I share. So chances are is that level. And I mean, we've read wild stories of people who have told their G's, their guys that they are traveling, they're this, and all of a sudden they won't be able to find the passport at the end of the day of something that you actually need to get out of the shores of the country. So it's very interesting how we all undo this thing, and it could be superstition, it could be paranoia, but I mean, safer than sorry, and sorry,
Safer than
you get
true,
it now.
it's true. So I'm now the guy. I think his name is Kunle. If you were in Kunle's shoes, right? How would you?
How do I feel?
I'll feel great for her. I'll feel great for the lady. I just said.
Well, you're just like, I mean, I'm still here. Oh, I'm still, but no, in fairness. So one thing we all need to acknowledge and I think understand is that for some people, leaving the shores of the country, relocating and going to different areas could just be what is going to give them or get them that change that they need to be financially stable, you know, and all that. For some people, even when it's not working in Nigeria, as it were, we still have people who are still balling. You still have businesses who are still, as hard as it is, declaring profit. Businesses who are still getting their breakthrough during this period. Artists who are still breaking out. Footballers who are still finding a way to get to their dream club, get out of the shores of the country, or getting signed. Deals are still happening. It is what it is. So I get it. The Naira is at an all-time low, you know, and all that. It's just swimming, and it's not even floating. It's drowning. You get. So there is that. You get. So there is that, but it's also, and I think I heard someone say it a couple of weeks back that we should also remember that Jackpot and relocation seems to be different. Jackpot is really living by all means, all way possible, and most times without having a plan, while relocation is actually having a plan to go settle, and you're not desperate.
And your people know about
and you're not desperate.
Probably you're moving with
you know,
people,
and you're not desperate. So
there's
also the part of where you're hearing people live with people's thrift money who are just to jackpot, as it were, and living around people in penury and problem and misery and pain. There is that. So the point we go there, all right. All of us is still in this country. If you check your window, check your neighbor, the person still in the, like, have you seen them recently? Or they have also packed and all. But hey, we'll be fine, as it were. But when people are leaving, do I blame them for why they are leaving? I mean, really, we had a very interesting time this year. I mean, ASU, something that it happens in 5 years, ASU go on major strike at least twice within that period. Major, like 6 months long, and we had 8 months long strike. Students are back in school, of which we still have some update from that quarters.
That was the next news
that we are hoping against hope that ASU does not go back on strike. It's looking like they're not going to anyway, so let's get that story.
Yeah, why you get the story, right? I remember was when we were on the show last, and the ASU strike issue came up. We talked about it, and then when the government resolved it, I remember me saying, I hope in the next 4 weeks we won't get to talk about this. Labaka, is it up to 4 weeks?
Even though.
I'm not even saying about me being a soothsayer. I'm saying about the problems of the country.
Right. Like it'd be nice if we can have a break, you know, and not talk about it.
This is supposed to be like the most important part of a country system, the educational sector.
How do you function?
How would you
without
function?
education?
How would you pass generational information to the next generation? Our youth these days, we are here talking about drug problems, we are here talking about this and that problems, when we don't have history in our classes, just naturally. We don't have anything called history. How many vocational works are there in elementary schools? Not talk of getting to the universities. The elementary,
Breathe.
the only elementary, Ibrahim, just calm down. The only vocational, what's it called, skill that our government is saying, okay, let's give our people, let's give our kids.
Yeah, what I say.
After you are done with school and you are done serving, and while you are serving, they will give you CWES. And during that CWES, how many? How many weeks? You learn it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You learn for 2 years for 2 weeks. So they want. Do you? I'm sorry I have to cut you short. They will let you know that they will tell you that we know you are done reading your books. You have graduated and all, but we want you to know that Nigeria is tough. So here is a CWES. Here are vocational programs for you. You can pick one and you'll be working.
But I think
that. After 2 weeks. So you can go and grow on it on yourself.
Yeah, you get, and I think no, hold on, and I think that the problem of us having that gap in our educational system from history not being in our curriculum, which is just very interesting.
I can't even.
How do you know about your people, your own people? How do you know?
Are they trying to rewrite history before bringing it out for us?
I don't get it though. I don't get it. It's
go meet any 15-year-old outside or any 16, 17-year-old outside and ask them which one was the capital of Nigeria before Lagos. I can tell you 90% of them will know it. How? Go and ask them the amalgamation. What year was it? They won't know.
But I like, and you actually, I mean, I think you said it all really. There is that problem of us not knowing, and if you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're coming from. How then do you know where you're going?
That is why they are imbibing foreign cultures, and then foreign norms everywhere now.
And then we have school is back. You have we talk about it that we are having half-baked graduates, as it were. Why? Because after this strike, after this mess, a major problem of having the educational system being split and broken, being students out of school for forever. Imagine your books closed for forever. Even though you asked whichever child or undergraduate, as it were, that, okay, go back to your book, you need to be reading. But if you do it for first month, you're still trying to read, there you are, second month, the strike was still on. You will lose the zeal and whatever energy or ginger you had to actually, keep up to date and all that stuff.
Even so all the FE ways and the FE codes. If I'm saying FE ways and FE codes, I'm talking about the scholars. The guys are like
smart as it comes, yeah.
They would still have problems coming back. Even if they will break their house reading and all, you cannot, beg your pardon, you cannot compare that to a consistent break. You are on strike for a couple of weeks. You're on strike for another couple of weeks. Now then months coming. And months.
And then you expected to write exams in
the past 2 years. In the past 2 years, can we say, okay, the amount of strikes that we have had, if you add it together, it's not up to almost a year.
I mean, it should be, and it's appalling. So we'd like to take a break and drink water, and then just breathe. Hopefully, we'll come back with good news. But unfortunately, our next story isn't as exciting as we prefer. It's not as enjoyable as we would want, as you would want as well.
I've said it before. This is Let's Talk Naija.
I mean, let's talk.
AKA Let's Probe Naija.
Let's rant Naija. Let's, so we'd like to hear your thoughts as well. It is an interactive session. We'd like to take your reactions, your thoughts. How is Nigeria treating you? How is it dealing with you? How are you faring? How are you keeping your head above water? Pepper is peppering. The cost of, you cannot live without these things. Cost of rice. How about Gary? Can we even?
I remember making what's it called, rice and stew. And if I say rice and stew, I'm not saying asekpo, I'm not saying concoction. Rice and stew with 500 naira. I can
Try now.
500 naira now.
Try now.
Would it buy you the liquor of rice? Yeah, it might. With you,
Would
you
it-
would
would
have
it do-
you have 14 naira change.
No. It's more than 500 now.
It's more than 500
Yes,
naira.
a direct rice more than 500 now.
I just almost got myself beaten by the attendants. Apologies, Mama.
It's more than 500.
So I'll not be buying half the liquor of rice.
And how many
Half
persons
the
is it going to feed?
half the liquor of rice. Let's
All right,
go on the
let's
break.
go on the break. Okay, so you guys should breathe. We're coming back before you know it.
Let's
Stick around.
breathe
We'll be
like
right back.
This country, we go survive.
Welcome back. It is still Let's Talk Naija on SEETV, and it's Baba and myself. We've been having quite a time, not so enjoyable,
Yeah.
but hey, we've been talking.
Quite the time.
Why do you have to sound like that?
I wanted to know is a fake smile.
It's so obvious and it's so scary. All right, so we had the press release from ASU as regards non-payment of salaries and all that stuff. This came out yesterday, so let's go through it because. So this is it. If you guys are not here, ASU had come out a couple of days back and complained about the fact that the salaries for October was prorated. By prorating, like it was paid just for days, like almost like the way you calculate per day payment. You know, when you prorate a payment. So yeah, they're complaining about that, and they've said that they're not going to be going on another strike. But they will rather dialogue with the federal government instead. So which is actually putting the going back of students at risk. Okay, so this is the story. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, all right, press release, we are intellectuals, not casual workers. The Academic Staff Union of Universities suspended its 8-month strike on the 14th of October 2022 in obedience to the order of the National Industrial Court and in further consideration of intervention efforts of well-meaning Nigerians, including the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, retired Honorable Femi Gbadagbamila. The action of the union was a display of manifest trust in the judiciary and other institutions and organs of government to always put national interest above all other considerations. This, we believe, as a union of thinkers, intellectuals, and patriots, will not only aid the process of amicable resolution of the crisis, but also set the tone for smooth industrial relations between government and Nigerian workers at large. Unfortunately, the response of the government towards ASU's demonstration of trust was the so-called pro rata payment of 18 days as the October 2022 salaries of academics, thereby portraying them as daily paid workers. This is not only an aberration, but a contravention of all known rules of engagement in any contract of employment for academics the world over. At an emergency meeting of the ASU's National Executive Committee held on Monday, 7th November 2022, the union deliberated on developments since the suspension of the strike. NEC noted with dismay that paying academics on pro rata basis like casual workers is unprecedented in the history of university-oriented labor relations, and therefore condemned this attempt to reduce Nigerian scholars to casual workers in its entirety. The NEC commends the membership of ASU for their perseverance in the face of untold hardship and unwarranted provocation by some notorious agents of the ruling class. The NEC further appeals for the understanding of Nigerian students, parents, and other genuinely concerned individuals and groups, while the union continues to pursue positive resolution of this avoidable crisis within the ambit of legality without compromising the interest and welfare of Nigerian intellectuals. Thank you.
When would they stop begging us for our understanding?
Okay, so I mean, before we came on, I was like, okay, I get it if you're not paid for what you didn't work for, but you had a contrary view to that.
Yeah, I had a contrary view to that because, okay, now you are under employment, you are striking because the conditions at which you are working is unfavorable on so many aspects. You are, how is our lecturers in these universities, our lecturers receiving 150,000 naira per month as salaries? 150,000 naira per month for a salary for a lecturer that I'm pretty sure if I want to start counting the duties of a lecturer for you, it is as long as day. Whereas our House of Representatives, our state ministers, our governors, how much are they making per month? Who taught you guys? Aren't those lecturers? No, be a teacher now. You are not giving cognizance. You're not giving respect. You're not giving you are not giving them the deserved due that these people own. You are here fighting them, and you are diminishing their status and respect. You are giving them a pro rata deal that they should be paid on 18 days on an 18-day basis. That means you'll be paying them on a daily. Are they farm workers? Are they cement makers? It doesn't make any sense in any form. You are here telling us that it's not your business. You are not going to be paying them 8 months. Were they working? They were not working. What made them strike in the first place? You were owing them money. You were owing them money in the first place, and they were still signed under your people. Okay, when you guys the strike was called off, why did you not tell the same people to go and resume? Why not go and look? Okay, we want to go and employ other lecturers. Who will come for you? Who will come for the job? When they know the people that were there are in pains. They are starving. The money that they're supposed to receive is non-existent. You are giving them a pro rata on an 18-day basis. Imagine somebody earning 150,000 naira. You not be paying them on an 18 basis. Divide that 150,000 naira for a month. Please.
Okay, so my take is that it's unfortunate that our students are still going to be on the receiving end of this, which is what is so painful. Which is so painful to me, and the fact that we already have such conditions that is not favorable for learning. You have a calendar. Yeah, this is your plan. This is your plan. You go into school at a certain age, hoping to get out by a certain age, so you're done. You're ready for the working world, for the labor market, and there you are having to spend such a terminable amount of time in systems that, I mean, we have university halls, lecture halls that houses maybe about 800, 500, some not as many as that, but with ridiculous no air. What's the word now? I'm looking for the word. It's not conducive for learning. You have a lecturer having to teach without a public address system, and the hall is so big. How on earth are the people in the middle, going to hear what the lecturer is saying? And then there you are, like you were in class, but you were not there. Why? Because you could not pick out anything to learn. You're in class, even when there's public address system, either there's no power for the air condition to be on, and that is for the few halls that actually have air conditioned. You have students in sweltering heat. Like, sorry, what's supposed to get inside this place? How on earth am I supposed to assimilate when the environment? I mean,
and the lecturer's shout feels like a whisper when you are at the back.
And there is. It sounds wild, but actually, my school. I'll pity people. I'll not mention your name. All right.
I wish you would, but continue.
I wouldn't. See, you could not go to class and put your elbow like this for whatever reason. Say I'm doing like this in class. If you do it, you regret it. Should I tell you why? Why? There are bed bugs everywhere on the furniture that you're seated on. I mean, everywhere. When you stand up so like, imagine there you are, lecturer going like, so I did engineering, I did computer engineering. You have a lecturer doing, I'm looking for one course, so say transmission or something, or maybe electronics.
My
So electronics
country.
3 or something, or 2 or something, and there you are telling you that the iyon killing. Then when you are doing like this, you're trying to kill like what is walking all over you. And if you've ever been bitten
And
by
those things are
bug, you will
bad.
itch. You would itch.
Are you talking about
You will scratch your body.
Not about even being bitten. If one of those bed bugs touches your body and it gets you, and you take it to the house, forget your whole house is getting infested.
You're done. Like you have to do proper fumigation to get it out. And that is actually the system,
School,
the environment that we actually expect students to learn. It's
School.
another experience.
University hall.
See, I have stories for days. Like you leave this particular venue. Why? You're trying to use the restroom. Imagine trying to pee. You have to walk in a certain manner. Have you been pressed before? And there's no way for you to relieve yourself. Why? Because the restrooms horrible, horrendous. Like if you enter and you are pressed, it will go back. I promise you.
You'll be
The
unpressed.
urge, that's the word. You're going to be unpressed. You have to start looking for where to use. If you get there, there's no water. Something will shout something. And these are the systems, these are the environments you expect students to actually learn. It's bad enough. If you have an assignment, if you live in the hostel, you have an assignment that you're trying to submit for the next week, either by mail or the one that you have to print. Where is the light you want to use to charge your system?
And where is even the respect for the lecturers by the students?
You
when
know?
they already know how much their lecturers are earning.
And it's
like,
such a terrible amount.
You'll be like, so
and then we want.
Don't yeah, he's doing that. He's telling me anyhow. He's telling me I'm going to do this anyhow.
So we just have. We have so much that can be done better. We cannot continue like this. Something has got to give. If it's going to be privatization that will put an end to this, I think we'll all bear the brunt. We'll pay the price if we're going to have quality standard education and we can actually compete favorably with our counterparts from the developed world. I mean, we see Nigerians go outside. We are racking in their awards. We are carrying, like, we don't just go. That's what they carry last, as we say.
On every aspect.
We go, is it from our music to our movies to football? We cannot translate. It's unfortunate. We always have that.
I'm pretty sure you have seen the news about that general, the lady general.
Yeah,
the number one brigadier
Army.
in the U.S. Army, number one female brigadier.
Bro,
she's number one female soldier in the whole of the U.S. Army, and she's Nigerian.
We always claim them when they are doing good, and then we have their state governor saying, I see you, I'm proud.
That is the most,
we continue
that is the
like
most painful
this.
part. Because after I'm done, right, that's when I know that you'll call me. They'll soon call me.
And then they'll tell you that they know your father's father, your grandfather,
You have been a wonderful servant to the country. If I catch the person that sent the text message.
Okay, we are choosing peace, we will not do violence. We'll do our best. Okay, away from that, our last story that we're going to be taking is the news of unknown gunmen attacking commuters on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and this is okay, so in case you don't know, in case you're living under the rock, today's date is November 9th, 2022, of which a lot of families, a lot of people are already trying to, keep some money together for travel. As per pay, you have to go home, you've been out all this while. If Lagos is where you have to come and work, you don't have a choice, and then you want to go home, your family, friends. Like, this is just the time for people to connect, usually December. People are planning.
Time period.
Now you are hearing that even Lagos about the expressway that we thought was actually fine, it's not fine. Because so we saw this video of a man, unfortunately, who had been shot and he couldn't stand up until help came, and this and many more stories, a couple of them unreported, that we hear. Unfortunately, so insecurity is something that we just see it now in the news. We just do, and we keep it moving. Like, where exactly are we going to? It's crazy. It's in. I don't even know what to say. Like, security apparatus, agencies.
This is a major expressway where how many commuters ply this route on a daily? I cannot count. Do you know how many people work in Ibadan, work in Lagos and stay in Ibadan
and vice versa?
Plenty. Do you know how many market people they go on it? I cannot count.
To go buy goods and services.
I have a family member that actually applied that route today. I had to call the person when I saw the news. So I'm not going to lie to you. I had to call the person for their safety. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm already there. Imagine.
How long do we do this
This is the
for?
same Lagos Ibadan expressway that has been under construction before they bought my papa.
They're always
And
doing
it's still
some
under construction. See, right now, there are a few words I want to say that are so.
Swallow it.
I have to. I know
Please,
I've already
please
swallowed
do
them.
it.
They are supposed to be censored and all, but we need to reevaluate ourselves as a country. Without that, we are not going anywhere.
I mean,
we are not going
if
anywhere.
really, if you take away security from a country's well-being, how well-being is it being really? Because security is something that you cannot take for granted. We have kidnappers, like it's now a business. Unfortunately, it's now something that people actually what's the word now? That people have taken to doing. See, the country is hard. Like there's the part of the government, like I mentioned, our security agencies. How come we're not aware of all these things? How come we're not proactive enough to actually annihilate or eliminate all these threats to the safety and the well-being of our citizens? Yeah, and for us, the citizens, like we've chosen that this is where people are hustling, legitimate hustle, like doing genuine, going about their duties. Yeah, and then you choose that. No, it's the one that people have made. It's one I want to collect forcefully. Then I like 100 million naira ransom. They just call this ridiculous amount of money, like 250 million naira ransom, and then the family are they are running elter, trying to put this money together. Like, can we?
I remember one incident of one guy that got abducted now a couple of months back in around the this same route, right? But this guy stays around Alakoko area, and if I have to tell you for your fact that after he was kidnapped, they demanded 80 million naira. It was brought down to 60 million naira. If I tell you, you'll be surprised. But if people are actually doubting, you can go ask people there. He had market women, everybody in and around that area contributing to the family to just go and pay this guy's ransom till it got completed. The guy was in captivity for almost 3 months. A very chubby guy came back looking all lean, and the money was contributed at, I cannot count. The old landlords and the landladies in the area, the tenants, the people, the market, everybody had to put their hands together just to bring out one person. That is how much we love ourselves in this country. But the country itself, does it love us back? Does it?
We need to ask. You can't ask me. I'm sorry. How do I want to answer the question? Unfortunately, it's just so painful that we have this news on a daily. Like, it's something that I would like to forget. I would like to, pray it doesn't exist. But you go through the news, and the good news is few and far in between. The light-hearted news is so scarce. Like, you have to look for it. You have to look.
This guy came out with
the sad one.
horrendous experience. I just know why I brought his name up, because as I said it, I'm remembering some of the things he told us after he was out. Like, middle of the night, sometimes you just see them, bam, open the door to where they are with their AKs, eating them with the bots. They don't want to pay your money, Abi. See, you can't count how many of them were there, how many people they even kill, because this one, say they cannot get him money and they are already giving them trouble. Go and hang him, or go and look for a place to go. After beating him up severely, go and drop the body out. Probably I'm just trying to look for an example. If the person was residing in Lagos, he probably go drop in Ondo State. Imagine, without you knowing anybody, anything. How would
then the family are there hoping and praying that this person is still
alive.
Or
absolutely running mental about as that saying goes, a dead person is way better than a missing person. We know some coming around you, but it is that was
not the plan, right? We were coming with so much energy, so much vibe. I mean, to check your pulse and all that, but hey, it is what it is. We like to hear from you. Like we have said, we like to hear your thoughts, your reactions. How Nigeria is treating you. The show is Let's Talk Naija. After all, on SEETV Live is the handle on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We are SEETV Live 1 on Instagram and TikTok. Okay. So, and I think it's about time for us to carry our kaya and leave the studio. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're just not leaving on the note we would like to leave.
No, I want us to leave on that note, right? So, for the very first time, I am going to switch Let's Talk Naija and Let's Probe Naija. I'm going to switch it up a bit before we leave here, so that at least you have been here sombering up lamenting and
We should smile.
let's smile and talk about the good things, right? Apparently, our Nigerian boy, Victor Osimhen, is the highest goal scorer in the history of La Liga, Serie A. One, our musicians are doing amazing. We are having our project build world over, headlining almost every event in the world. So if you are in Nigeria, you should be proud of ourselves as ourselves. We are trying to make everything go well for each other.
We're not in the World Cup.
We're not in the World Cup here. It is some people went to go and receive a handshake. I don't know who they received the handshake from. Affected the game plan and everything. So it is what it is. We are doing good as a country. Each and every one of us. We are promoting ourselves.
Can you guys notice me packing my bag? I'm not there in the studio. I was not here. I was not really here. I was here, but I'm not.
It is what it is. Nigeria is not a joke. Nigeria is never going to be a joke.
We are
trying to make it a joke.
And
we ourselves, we love ourselves, and we want to promote ourselves in this country. Please, smile through the pain.
No, we don't. No, we want the pain to be forgotten. We want to be fine. All right, we'll do our best. All right, you just keep calm. Smile, breathe, take care of yourself, prioritize your health and your safety. If it is what you can afford, right? You eat it with so much peace, right? We'll be fine, okay? A bag of rice is how much now? Is nearing 50,000 naira. Minimum wage is still where it is, as it is. Lecturers are still there.
Save up 2,000 naira. Save up 2,000 naira or 2,500 naira. No, find yourself a swimming pool. 1,000 naira max is how much they will collect from you.
You cannot swim, Unko.
Just stay there. You will be throwing your legs in the water. Most of the things that you are taking about will go. I can't tell you to go watch a movie right now at the cinema.
It's expensive.
Skyrocketed.
So yeah, we'll be fine. All right. So take care and have a lovely, lovely day. We've come to love you and leave you, even though we ranted with you for a bit. But hey, we love you. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.
Easy, Baba. Saying bye bye. Smile. Don't be like me. Don't be smile.
Oh my goodness.